Hey guys, today we have my senior Anish with us. He is a computer science graduate from BITS Goa and is currently working as a software engineer at Microsoft. He is a pro in game development and pursues it as a hobby. He has also cracked GSoC in 2018 and contributed to the Godot Engine. In this video, he talks about how he got into game development and his journey. We have added the timestamps in the description. Hope you enjoy it. Hi Anish, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining with me for this interview. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Everything's fine.
Uh, so how would you describe how would you describe your journey in game development? Like how did you get started with it?
I got started with it during ninth grade. So I was in a class and this teacher was telling 12th grade students about game development, like how one of his students, ex-students, former students, is now
Mm-hmm.
a game developer.
Hmm.
So actually, you might have heard of him. His name is Nikhil Malankar.
Oh, okay.
There's this game being made called Mumbai Gully. If you've heard
Mm-hmm.
of it,
Yeah.
it's been in the talks a lot.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
his studio.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so basically he kind of inspired me there, and I talked to Nikhil, and that really got me into game dev. That
Mm-hmm.
motivated me to go from a mechanical to a CS thing, actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
before that, my dream was like completely different. So game dev is why I'm in CS.
Oh, okay. That's inspiring. Yeah.
And about how the journey went after that is I started reading about it. So first thing, game development needs programming. So I started
Mm-hmm.
learning. How will I start learning programming? So the teacher was like, why don't you just sit in the class for the 11th graders? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So I just sat in there. It was some advanced C++ thing, and it was like 8 p.m., 7 to 8 p.m. or something, which is not doable. I sat in one class, noted down the whole program, got
Mm-hmm.
the compiler and everything, and now I had to like tinker over it, etc. Just
Mm-hmm.
get into it, learn programming the hard way because I didn't know how to Google properly.
Oh.
Then get into the other things like AI, how is the art made, even though I didn't actually pursue the art. I went into AI and physics. These are the two things I looked at, like programming, AI, physics.
Mm-hmm.
First year I focused on like ML and stuff because I thought this might be relevant. Realized by second year that like the ML isn't that relevant to game AI.
Mm-hmm.
By second year I was also interested in physics, so I started making physics engine sort of thing, trying to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
then at the end of second year, same time as my GSoC,
Uh-huh.
I came across the source code for Godot's rendering engine,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that got me into graphics, which is what I'm still doing. I'm still working
Uh-huh.
with GPUs and graphics, and which is
Okay.
where I'm at right now.
Uh-huh. So like your main field in game development is like developing graphic APIs and modifying them, right?
Using graphics APIs to develop frameworks like
Hmm.
graphics frameworks.
Okay, okay. So now, looking back in your game development career, what do you think you might have done something different that would have, greatly benefited you or accelerated your journey in game development?
Well, to start with, it's not exactly a game development career because I
Uh-huh.
have I'm not really working in game dev full
Hmm.
time. Still a hobbyist, technically speaking. So,
Uh-huh.
hmm. What would have changed? Well, maybe searching better on internet. So if I
Okay.
had found the resources I have access to right now
Hmm.
earlier, it would have been so much better. As in,
Hmm.
okay, fair. Some of those resources didn't even exist back then. Like right now, if you want to learn game development and you're gonna use Unity, go ahead. You have Brackeys sitting right there to teach you everything.
Hmm.
Or anything else, you've got GD Quest teaching you all of that. You've got a lot
Hmm.
of these YouTube videos. Back in the day, YouTube was sort of a privilege because internet was still like very slow, broadband internet.
Hmm. Hmm.
Broadband, like your 500 kbps used to be fast
Yeah.
in that era.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how it was. Those
Hmm.
things would have helped a lot. Maybe a
Hmm.
mentor or a guide would have helped a lot.
Uh-huh.
Would
But
still help a lot.
But considering your achievements and progress, I feel like you've done pretty much like you've really excelled in your field.
I guess so, but one can always aim higher.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Huh. So, anyways, what do you feel about the scope of the Indian game industry?
Quite good, to be honest. I mean, fine, some of the things aren't so good considering, well, we make a lot of shovelware.
Okay.
Just games which are just clones of other games trying to make
Hmm.
money out of blah, 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 like just clones. But
Hmm.
we do have a proper industry, which, so surprisingly, once you actually search about game dev in India, the it's not that we don't have a game development industry. It's just that we don't make games. We don't have game development studios.
Hmm.
We do now. We've got Gameons. We've got a few more whose names I don't remember properly.
Yeah, but
But
they're at their early stage right now.
yeah, no, you can think of Raji. That game,
Raji, yes.
it's
Hmm.
an indie studio and is doing pretty good job.
Hmm.
4G, despite all the things
Yeah.
surrounding it, it is still a good initiative, sort of, in a way,
Hmm.
right? Despite everything else,
Hmm.
we are making a game in India. Hello.
Yes. Hmm.
You've got Game On doing Mumbai Gullies. There was one more, I don't remember exactly, who made a AAA looking game.
Hmm.
Wasn't the same level, but close enough. Trying
Hmm.
at least, right? And we're continuously growing. So I think we have a really good scope here.
Hmm. Also, I have noticed that like a lot of people are more interested or lean towards web development, app development, and other like the other areas of development. And
Mm-hmm.
there is very few, like at least in India, there is like very few less importance given to game development. So,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think that's the reason?
Well, first of all, career scope. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Even if you think about it, most of the Indian game development industry is outsourced. Like
Hmm.
whatever is being outsourced to India. You've
Hmm.
got Rockstar India. All they do is art and some, you know, low key work for Rockstar.
Hmm.
You've got Ubisoft, which makes like Just Dance games and the mobile games,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't have AAA, you don't have like a big scope being advertised. What
Hmm.
does web dev have? Well, app dev and web dev have. App dev has like Uber is hiring here,
Hmm.
web dev and server side development, etc. has Microsoft, Google, I mean,
Hmm.
Facebook as well to an extent, though they don't come to our campus that much.
Hmm.
So you've got all of these, companies that are hiring for web, etc., paying like packages which basically set you up for life.
Hmm.
And then you have game dev which are hiring, well, packages which are lackluster. Like you do CS or something in bits, and a 7 LPA CTC is not gonna cut it, right?
Yes, yes. Hmm.
Game dev on the higher side offers 7 LPA CTC in India.
Yeah, but at least in the beginning stage, but I hope that increases with
Yeah, I
experience.
hope in the future it increases, but at
Hmm.
the moment there's not a lot of scope here.
Hmm.
If you
Yeah.
want to go into game dev, you have to go abroad. That's all you've got.
Hmm. Yeah. So, like earlier, you mentioned a lot of resources like Brackeys and other channels. So,
Mhm.
regarding that, what other advice do you have for anyone who just wants to get started with game development as a hobby?
Well, the first thing I would say is don't dream big.
Okay. Hmm.
This goes contrary to normally what people say, but like it's not about the final result, but what you're trying to do. So most people go in, okay, I'm gonna make the next Call of Duty, but you have to realize Call of Duty was made by a team of like hundreds of people
Hmm.
over multiple years.
Hmm.
Okay, and you alone won't ever be able to meet that standard,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
You have to aim small. You have to aim something like, okay, I'm gonna make something like the first level of Mario.
Hmm.
And even that's a big goal, to be honest. For your first game, honestly, I think people should start at like the bare minimum. Make
Hmm.
Pong. Yeah, two
Okay.
sticks, one ball, hit each other. Even that's an accomplishment when you're starting out. And
Hmm.
people don't realize that. They see this huge games like GTA and everything, and you just miss the whole rest of the part.
Hmm.
So that's first. Start small. Second is to fail fast. So instead of aiming for, okay, I'm gonna do this over 2 weeks, maybe try to make something smaller in 1 week.
Hmm.
At the start, at least. At the start. Once you have certain confidence, once you are good enough, you'll know when you're good enough once you start doing this stuff. You can start doing longer projects. But at the start, you want to do something small.
Hmm.
And third is not to make a like think of a game and then learn for it, but to learn and make a game depending on what you have learned for the
Hmm.
starting.
Hmm.
So you just learned how to make a character jump. Cool. Make a game that's like Doodle Jump. All you do is jump. The end.
Hmm.
Don't aim with I'm going to make Mario and then learn what goes behind it
Hmm.
at the starting again. This is all for just the beginners because as a hobbyist, you
Hmm.
gotta start at the beginning, right? Then get into the stuff because people sort of end up with, just watching videos for weeks, trying to get the idea of the game, never really reaching the point where they can make a game
Hmm.
because they never get to the computer. They never start writing that line of code or drawing that art they need to draw.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's my starting advice for hobbyists.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. What do you think? Like, suppose someone wants to, pursue like a professional career in game development. So, do you
Mhm.
think they should they, like go abroad and study? Like, as you said, the opportunities are much higher in, overseas. So, do you think is
Okay,
that?
it's a bit iffy there actually.
Hmm.
So like the job opportunities are abroad, but a game dev degree isn't that good to start with.
Hmm.
Most of these colleges are for profit. They charge a lot higher, and what they teach you is
Hmm.
could be helpful, could be not so helpful, and very
Hmm.
pressure, like a lot of stress.
Hmm.
Bits would seem like a vacation against it.
Okay, got it.
So, I can't really in good conscience recommend Kia you go for an like masters in game dev or something, or even for a degree in game dev. At
Hmm.
the same time, without the degree, it's also hard to go there. So
Hmm.
it's a double-sided thing that you need to find for yourself depending on your situation and everything and how
Hmm.
much you want it. Like I
Hmm.
want to be in game dev, but I don't want it enough to, give up on so much.
Hmm. Yeah.
So instead, just polish my own skills all by myself and apply, hoping I'll get in. I have lesser chances of getting in compared to somebody who has a master's there.
Hmm.
But overall, I think I'll come out on top in the end if I do this.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it
So,
really
mhm,
depends.
so at the end, it depends on your interest and how willing you are to, uh,
Interest,
yeah.
financial situation, how much stress you can take,
Hmm.
and what are you looking for exactly? I mean, are you looking for a game dev job or are you looking for like, you know,
Hmm.
making games? Because I
Hmm.
realize I have fun making games.
Yeah.
So I could just make games. You don't need to then go for career, right?
Yes. So yeah, thanks a lot for your advice. I hope like many people would be able to get more out of it. So this was the first part of the interview. I hope you liked this video. Do let us know your thoughts about the interview in the comments. We'll be releasing the next part in which Anish talks about his GSoC journey. So make sure you're subscribed to us and hit that bell icon to not miss our videos.